Okay, so I'm sending you another video because the first one does not have any audio at all. So it is just a PowerPoint with some timing. So I hope this one works so that we can move on to our lesson because we are almost done. The time for the semester is almost done. So I'm worried we cannot finish everything until June 21. Okay, so for this lesson, we are going to find the area and perimeter of basic plane figures. Those are squares, rectangles, triangles, parallelograms, trapezoids, rhombus, circles. Okay, so when we say perimeter, that is the distance around any shape, and it is in linear units. Well, if we talk about area, that is the space that is in that shape, and it is in square units. Okay, so the first figure that we are going to study is on the rectangle. So if we are going to find the perimeter of the rectangle, that is basically, or if you are going to add all the sides, you have two equal sides, so that's you add the length. So twice the length plus twice the width, or basically the formula, the simplest formula is 2 times the sum of the measures of each side. So twice L plus W. And if you want to find the area, that is length times width. And if you are going to look for, if the problem is asking for the diagonal of the rectangle, that is basically the square root of the sum of the squares of the two sides. And by the way, the diagonal of the rectangle is, if we're going to illustrate that in real life situations, that's how TV screens are measured, or even the laptop. It's the diagonal. So if we say it is, your television screen is 75 inches, so that means to say the diagonal of that television screen is 75 inches. So it's not the length or the width that is 75, but it is the diagonal. So here is an example. A rectangular garden has dimensions of 30 meters by 20 meters and is divided into 4 parts by 2 pathways. By the way, in 2 is going to be one word, by 2 pathways that run perpendicular from each side. So one pathway has a width of 8 decimeters and the other is 7 decimeters, and you are asked to calculate the total usable area of the garden. Okay, so if we are going to illustrate it, that's how it looks like. So the green lines here at the middle, these are the pathways. Okay, so this pathway here is 8 decimeter, so it subtracts the length of that is 20 meters. But if you notice, they are not of the same units. The other is in decimeter and the other is in meters, so you might convert first the decimeters into meters. So 8 decimeter is equals to 0.8 of a meter, and so this height is 20 minus 0.8, so that is 19.2. And for the base, okay, so this is 30, but then you subtract the pathway, which is 0.7 meters, so that is 29.3. And if you're going to multiply 19.2 times 29.3, the answer is 562.56 square meters. Now let us have the square. So the perimeter of the square is 4s. So that's the shortcut of continuous additions, side plus side plus side plus side, or that is 4s. And if you find the area, you want to find the area, that is simply the square of the sides, or that is s times s. And the diagonal of the square is measure of the side times the square root of 2. Okay, so an example. So there is again a square garden with a side length of 150 meters, and there is a square swimming pool at the very center of it with the measure of the side 25 meters. Now you're asked to find for the area of this garden. So the garden only without this one. So simply you can find the whole area of this 150 times 150. Then you find this one area of the pool 25 times 25, and then subtract. So 150 squared minus 25 squared, or that's 21,875 square meters. That is the area of this garden. Okay, so the last figure that we are going to discuss is for this lesson is on a triangle. So if you're going to find the perimeter, again, that's so easy. You will simply multiply add all the sides, the three sides. And if you are given the measures of the three sides of the triangle and you are asked to find for its area, then you're going to use this formula, the Heron's formula, that is the square root of s, which is 1/2 of the perimeter, times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c. So again, s is 1/2 of the perimeter, so that's 1/2 of a plus b plus c. And if you're given a triangle which is a right triangle, or maybe there is a straight height, okay, so that's simply 1/2 of its product of the base and the height. And if it is an equilateral triangle, that is just the square of a times the square root of b, and that a is the equal sides over 4. So since it is equilateral, so all sides are equal. Okay, so an example. Find the area of the triangle if its sides measures 4 inches, 6 inches, and 9 inches. We are given the measures of the three sides, so we are going to use the Heron's formula. So that is a equal to the square root of s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c, where s is 1/2 of 4 plus 6 plus 9, or that is 1/2 of 19, or that is 9.5. So the area now is the square root of 9.5 times 9.5 minus 4 is 5.5, times 9.5 minus 6 is 3.5, times 9.5 minus 9 is 0.5, and get the square root. So the answer is 9.56 square inches. Okay, another example. What is the area of the triangle with base 3 and height 4? So we will use the formula 1/2 BH. So 1/2 of 3 times 4, which is 12. So 1/2 of 12 is equal to 6. Another example, so you are going to find the length of the base of an isosceles triangle. So isosceles triangle is a triangle in which two sides are equal. Okay, so you're going to find the length of the base if the area of that isosceles triangle is 243 square centimeters and the altitude is 27. So what are we given? We're given the area and we're given the altitude or the height. So we need to find for the base. So this is the solution. Okay, so we will use the formula 1/2 BH, and then from the given, you plug it to the formula. So area is given as 243 equals 1/2. B is unknown, so 1/2 B times 27. Okay, and then do algebraic manipulations. So to get rid of 1/2, you multiply it to uh, 2 to the other side. So that means it is 243 times 2 over 27 kb. 27b naman ang mabilin ani if you're going to multiply the reciprocal of 1/2 to this. So the base is basically 18 centimeters. You can check also with your calculator if the calculations are correct. Plus 9, or that's 2 twice of 5 plus 9, or that is 19. And if you're going to find for the altitude, h is the square root of the difference of a squared minus b squared over 4. So do some algebraic manipulations, simplify that, and your final answer is 2.179. And the area is, you can now find the area, so that's 9 times 2.179, which was unknown and resolved it, then divide by 2, or that is 19.611 over 2, or that's 9.81. Okay, so any questions? I will be uploading the next lesson. So for now, I would like you to answer pages 14 to 19 and 35 to 40, and the due date is June 9. Okay, and if you have questions, please post it in our group chat, and make sure that you only post one question for each of the similar questions. If your classmate is already asking for the same question, please don't post another similar question, because eventually it will be answered also. Okay,